Okay, so I'm gonna do the outside inspection. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna ask the instructor to help you check your lights, the front lights and the back lights. After you check all your lights, you're gonna get off the truck and then you're gonna do whatever section they'll tell you to do, okay? So I'm gonna do the whole truck first. So the section A starts on the front. So first I'm gonna check underneath the truck to make sure there's no water, no oil leaks. Make sure the truck looks straight, not leaning. If it's leaning, it could be a bad suspension or a flat tire, and you have to fix it before you could drive it. And then I'm gonna check the bumper. Make sure the bumper's not cracked, not bent, no legal welds, not missing any nuts or bolts. Make sure it's properly secured to the frame. And then I'm gonna check my license plate. Make sure my license plate, it's always up to date, clean, visible, properly secured to the bumper, not missing any screws or bolts on it. And then I'm gonna check all my lights. Make sure just the lights, the covers, make sure the covers of the high beam and low beam and the turn signals and the marker lights on top of the truck, make sure the covers are not cracked or missing. And the turn signals and the marker lights on top, they should be amber in color. Make sure they're working properly and secure. And then I'm gonna check the windshield. Make sure the windshield, it has no cracks, no legal stickers on it. Make sure it's clean so you can see through it. Then you're gonna check your windshield wipers. Make sure the wipers have enough rubber so when it rains, it can clean the windshield properly. Make sure it's working properly secure. After that, you're gonna open the hood. Make sure the hood is easy open, easy close. It has no cracks or holes on it. Make sure it's in good condition. Let me open it. Once you open the hood, you're gonna go to the passenger side, to the front tires. So the front tires, they cannot be less than 432 tread depth, and the pressure, they cannot be less than 110 psi. And you're gonna check that with the high pressure A gauge. And then I'm gonna check my tire from both sides to make sure the tire has no bubbles, no cuts, and no leaks. Make sure my tire is in good condition from both sides, and there should be no gap or space in between the tire and the rim. Then I'm gonna check the rim. Make sure the rim is not cracked, not bent, no legal welds, no extra holes. Make sure the rim is in good condition, secure. And then I'm gonna check all my lug nuts. Make sure my lug nuts are properly mounted, secure. Make sure the lug nuts have no rust. If they have rust, they might be loose. So you have to check, double check, okay? Then in here, behind this cap, you have the hub seal. So make sure my hub seal is properly mounted, secure. Make sure it's not cracked or leaking any oil. Make sure it's always full, not missing any nuts or bolts. Then I'm gonna check my air valve, somewhere down here, if I can find it, right. So make sure my air valve is not cracked or leaking with the cap. Should be properly secure, okay? After that, you're gonna go behind right here. Behind the rim, in here, you have the brake drum and the brake shoes. So make sure the drum, it has no cracks, no legal welds. Make sure there's no oil, no grease inside of it. Make sure it's always clean. And the brake shoes inside, they cannot be less than 1/4 of an inch thick. If it's less than 1/4 of an inch thick, you have to get them replaced and put new ones right away, okay? So now you're gonna come on this side. You're gonna come right here. So this is my brake chamber, and this is my brake chamber clamp. So make sure the clamp is properly secure, not missing any nuts or bolts. And make sure the chamber itself is not cracked or leaking any air. Make sure it's properly secured in good condition. Not missing bolts right here. Then I'm gonna check my brake chamber hose right here. So make sure the brake chamber hose has no bubbles, cuts, or leaks, or tears. Make sure it's properly secured on both ends. Then you go right here. This is my slack adjuster and my push rod. So make sure my slack adjuster is always at a 90-degree angle. Cannot be cracked or bent. Secure with the pin right here. And this is my push rod that goes inside right here. Make sure the push rod has no more than 1 inch of free play. No crack, no bent, no missing pin circuit. Make sure they're properly secure, okay? After that, I'm gonna go to the suspension. I'm gonna start by checking my leaf springs right here. And this is my leaf spring hanger. This one, and this one more in the back there. So make sure both of my hangers are properly secured to the frame, not missing any nuts or bolts. Make sure the hangers have no cracks, no legal welds. Make sure they're properly secured to the frame, okay? After that, I'm gonna check my leaf springs themselves. Make sure the leaf springs, they're not cracked or bent, no legal welds, they're not shifted. In the middle right here, I have my spacer and 2 U-bolts. They keep them together to the axle. So make sure both of my U-bolts are properly mounted, secure. Not missing any bolts underneath. Make sure they're properly secured to the axle, okay? They have no cracks, no legal welds. After that, I'm gonna check the frame, the chassis frame. So make sure the chassis frame is straight, not cracked, no bent, no legal welds. Not missing any nuts or bolts, okay? Make sure it's properly secure. After that, I'm gonna check my cooling tank right here. So make sure my cooling tank is properly mounted, secure, not missing any nuts or bolts. Make sure the tank is not cracked or leaking, and it should be always full to the proper level, okay? This one is some, but you should be full. Then you check the cap, make sure it's properly secure, not loose. so it doesn't leak any coolant to the cap. Then I'm gonna go behind right here. We have the cooling tank hoses, both of these. So make sure my cooling tank hoses have no bubbles, cuts, tears, or leaks. They should be properly secured to the tank on both ends. After that, I'm gonna go right here. This is my alternator. So I'm gonna check my alternator. It should be properly mounted, secured to the engine. Make sure it has no bolts missing. Make sure it's not cracked or anything like that. Make sure it's working properly, secure. And behind right here, we have the alternator wires. So make sure the wires are properly secured to the alternator. Make sure they're not loose. They have no cuts or frays. Make sure there's no copper showing. Make sure they're properly secured to the alternator. Not missing bolts. And then underneath right here, this is the water pump. So make sure my water pump is properly mounted, secured to the engine. Make sure it's not cracked or it's not leaking any fluids. And make sure it's not missing nuts or bolts. It's properly secure. Underneath down there, you have the water pump hoses. So make sure your water pump hoses have no bubbles, cuts, tears, or leaks. They should be properly secured to the pump. And then you tell the instructor at the end that both your alternator and your water pump right here, they're belt driven. Make sure you touch the belt. And the belt cannot have more than 3/4 of an inch of free play. And make sure it has no cuts or frays on the belt. Make sure the belt's in good condition, secure, okay? And that's it from this side. Then I'm gonna go check the other side of the engine. So on this side, first I'm gonna check the engine oil with the dipstick right here. This is my dipstick where I check the engine oil. If it's low on oil, you're gonna add by gallons, not by quarts through here. Make sure the cap is properly secured, not loose, so it doesn't leak any oil. Then after that, I'm gonna go right here. You follow this gray line. See this one right here, the red one? This is my air compressor. So make sure my air compressor is properly mounted, secured to the engine. Make sure it's not cracked or leaking any oil. I mean, not leaking any air. Not missing bolts or anything like that. Then you check the air compressor hoses. These two right here. Make sure the air compressor hoses are properly secured to the compressor. Make sure they have no bubbles, cuts, tears, or leaks. They should be properly secure. And the one right here with the blue cap, that's my air compressor governor. Same thing. It should be properly mounted, secure, not cracked or leaking any air. And then they have hoses too right here, these little ones. So make sure my air compressor hoses have no bubbles, cuts, tears, or leaks. They should be properly secured to the compressor governor. And then underneath, you can't see it, but you have the power steam pump. Just got to mention it. So make sure my power steam pump is properly mounted, secured to the engine. Also not cracked or leaking any oil. Not missing nuts or bolts. They also have hoses, so make sure the hoses have no bubbles, cuts, tears, or leaks. They should be properly secured to the power steam pump. And then you tell the instructor that your air compressor right here and the power steam pump underneath, both of these are gear driven, so they don't have any belts. They work with the engine. After that, I'm gonna go right here to my power steam reservoir. The name is right here, look. So make sure my power steam reservoir is properly mounted, secure, not missing any nuts or bolts right here. Make sure it's properly secure. Make sure it's always full to the proper level, not crack or leaking any oil. Then you check both of the caps right here. Make sure they're properly secure, not loose, so it doesn't leak any oil to the caps. Then you check the hose for that. Make sure my compressor governor hose has no bubbles, cuts, tears, or leaks. They should be properly secured to the reservoir. After that, I'm gonna go to my service lines right here. So make sure my service lines are properly mounted, secure. They're not crack or leaking any air. Make sure they're in good condition, all of the lines, secure. And these are my electrical wires, all these boxes right here, both of these. Make sure my electrical wires are properly connected, secure, not loose. Make sure they have no cuts or frays, no copper showing. Make sure they're in good condition, secure, all of them, okay? After that, I'm gonna go right here. So this is my steering shaft. Make sure my steering shaft is always straight, cannot be cracked or bent, no legal welds, not missing nuts or bolts right here where they connect, where the universal joints connect. Make sure properly secure, not missing nuts or bolts, okay? Both ends. There's one in the front, one in the back. Then I'm gonna go right here. So this is my gearbox. So make sure my gearbox is properly mounted, secure to the engine, not missing nuts or bolts. It's not cracked or leaking any oil. And then they have hoses. My gearbox hoses right here, the blue ones. Make sure they're properly secure on both ends with no bubbles, cuts, tears, or leaks. Make sure they're in good condition, secure to the gearbox, okay? After that, I'm gonna go right here to my steer linkage system. Each bar has a name. So this bar right here, this is my pitman arm. This right here, this is my drag link. Over here on the top, I have my upper control arm. Underneath, I have my lower control arm. And the one that connects the tires that goes to the other side, that's the tie rod. Make sure they're not cracked or bent. Make sure they have no legal welds on any of them. And they should all be properly secure with the castle nut and a cotter pin to keep them locked and secure. Not missing any pins, okay? Just make sure they're all properly secure. Then I'm gonna go on the checked out service lines in the fifth wheel. So I'm gonna go on this side. So when you're checking the lines, you have to check them separately, okay, one by one. So it doesn't matter which one you check first, you just got to check them separate. So first I'm going to check the red one, that's the emergency line. It should be properly secure right here to the connector. So make sure the connector is not cracked or leaking any air. Make sure it's in good condition, secure. And then I'm going to check the line itself, the red one, to make sure it has no bubbles, cuts, tears, or leaks. Make sure it's properly secure. And it's secured to a glad hand on the trailer. So make sure the glad hand is properly secure, not loose. There's a seal inside. So make sure the seal has no cuts, no frays, so it's not leaking any air. And then I'm going to check the service line. It's the blue one. Repeat the same thing again, okay? It's secured to another connector right here. So make sure again the connector is not cracked or leaking any air. It should be properly secure. Then you check the blue one, the line itself, for any bubbles, cuts, tears, or leaks. Should be properly secured to another glad hand over here on the trailer. So make sure the glad hand has no cuts, no frays, no leaks. Make sure the seal also no cuts, no frays, no leaks, so it doesn't leak any air, okay? Make sure they're properly secure. And then I'm gonna check the green one, that's the electrical wire for the lights. First I'm gonna check the picture over here on the tractor. Should be properly secure, not missing out the bolt, secure with the little cap right here. Should be properly secure. And then I'm gonna check the green wire for any cuts or frays. Make sure there's no copper showing. Make sure they're properly secure. And it's secure to another picture on the trailer over here. Same thing, properly mounted secure, not missing out the bolts, secure with the cap, so nothing loose. And then at the end, you tell the instructor that all the 3 lines right here, they should be properly secure with the hanger, so they're not hitting on the cowlock. They shouldn't be pinch or tangle, okay? Pinch or tangle, so they should be properly secure off the cowlock. After that, I'm gonna check the 5th wheel. Okay, so first I'm gonna check the apron, the trailer apron, the top portion. So make sure the apron is not cracked, no bent, it has no legal welds, no extra hose on it. On top of the 5th wheel where you put the grease, they call it a skid plate. So I'm gonna check my skid plate. It should be properly greased, secure, not cracked, no bent, no legal welds. And there should be no space in between the apron and the skid plate. It should be properly greased. And then I'm gonna check the 5th wheel itself. That's the whole thing, okay? Right here. Make sure my 5th wheel is not cracked, no bent, no legal welds. Not missing any bolts or pins right here. They have bolts and pins right here. They should be properly secure, okay, all the time. And then you go inside the 5th wheel in the middle. Inside you have a kingpin right there and 2 locking jaws. So I'm gonna check the kingpin first to make sure my kingpin is not cracked, no bent. It has no legal welds. And make sure my locking jaws are around the kingpin, also no crack, no bent, no legal welds. And both of my locking jaws always have to be locked around the kingpin all the time, okay? Properly secure. And then after that, I'm gonna go right here to my sliding plate. You see where this little teeth are? This is my sliding plate. You can go back and forth. So make sure my sliding plate, it has to be always locked and secure. Not missing any nuts or bolts right here over here in the front. Make sure the bolts right here are in place, secure, locked all the time. And then this bottom portion right here, this is my 5th wheel mount. It should be properly mounted, secure to the frame. Not missing nuts or bolts, no cracks, no legal welds around it. Make sure they're properly secure to the frame all the time, okay? And then on the other side over there, on the 5th wheel, you have the release handle. So make sure my release handle is always in the lock position. It cannot be cracked or bent, no legal welds. And this truck has no safety latch, okay? And that'll be it for section A.